What's up, you guys? It's me, Juliet, Scorpion Goddess, and I'm going to be breaking down the astrology forecast with the main transits along with a collective tarot and oracle reading. And this is going from August 22nd all the way till August 28th. And the main highlight is going to be this new moon in Virgo, so stay tuned. What's up, you guys? It's me, Juliet, Scorpion Goddess, and before I begin this video, I want to ask you to please give this video a thumbs up, because when you give it a like, it boosts out into the YouTube algorithm to reach out to more people who want to know this information astrologically, and the intuitive messages I get from the cards. And commenting as well is one of my favorite things that I see from you guys, and it helps build up this community that we've been doing together. It is a whole new week, a new moon, a new Virgo season, so there's a lot happening this week. It's going to be very impactful. But before I break down the highlights of the astrology forecast, I want to thank everybody who continues to watch my videos and support my channel. I'm trying to make a big, massive, following within this community, and for those of you that don't know, I am a Western tropical astrologer. I use the whole sign house system, as well as a intuitive tarot reader, a Reiki practitioner. I am a witch as well, so I have a online shop with witchcraft products, and also my Astrology Journal, which goes by the astrological year, so it's all the way up until March 2023, so you still have time to purchase one if you would like to. And I'm also a panel member on the Media Virus podcast, so if you guys have yet to check that out, it's got nothing to do with astrology or tarot, just so you know, and it is an 18+, so if you're into some vulgar stuff, is whatever. Anyways, so description box has all of that down below. Also, last week I got some messages on my Instagram asking if my books are opening up anytime soon. Right now, I'm not really sure when I'm going to open my books back up, but I am accepting tips. So if these readings that I do really resonate for you, and just something really connects, and you're like, oh my god, I do accept tips. And like I said, everything in the description box down below. You can go to all the links where my social media stuff is, my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter, and my PayPal, and the Mediaverse podcast, and my Etsy shop. So all that stuff is down below. So with that being said, let's get these transits going. So when we start out Monday, August 22nd, I always like to talk about what the position or what sign the moon is in. So the moon will be in Cancer, its home sign. So this is going to give us that home body feel when we're going to be dealing with our emotions. Maybe we're going to be wanting to fix up the home. But we're having Mercury, which is our thoughts, ideas, and communication, trining with Pluto, which is the underworld and secrets and the darkness and the nitty-gritty, but they're going to be trining. So when we deal with the trine, this is what we would consider a harmonious aspect. So this is connecting these two things together. So this is a great day to get tarot readings, astrology readings, Reiki, anything that has to do with some taboo kind of things, those types of way to communicate. If you're really into the spirit world and you want to connect, this is a great day to do it. This transit doesn't happen that often either, so really take advantage if you're trying to connect spiritually, or to the dead, or communicating just about some stuff that would be considered taboo. So this could be like sexual things, anything that would just be considered a taboo kind of topic, because Pluto is that underworld and Mercury is that communication, where it really wants to talk about it, get these ideas rolling, networking. So it's going to be a really great time for that. Later on, we're going to be entering Virgo season on the 22nd, so we can say goodbye to Leo season, and it's time to welcome in the mutable earth sign of Virgo. Virgo is represented by the Virgin, so it's about purity, and perfection, and meticulous paying attention, getting things organized, eating clean, paying attention to your health, getting really good new habits in. And it's no wonder why around when Virgo season happens, school season begins, because it's time to learn new things, get in new habits, get in a better day-to-day routine and health regimens. So pay attention to where you have Virgo at in your chart, and this will really highlight, especially when we get into that Virgo new moon, which is going to be pretty intense. But again, with astrology, I do mention this in my videos that it's energy, and you can either let it work with you or you can let it control you and control the circumstances that happen. You know, this is just a form of guidance. You have the information of, okay, this is like the energy that's going to be going on and how it's going to affect me. So when these kind of bumps in the roads happen, I will be able to handle them in the best proper way that I can. So that's why I do this for you guys, so you can have an idea of like, all right, this is what's about to be going down. So, and as you can see in my astrology journal, I don't do aspects, I just do transits that happen. So if you go into the last week down here, so we have the 22nd, you can see the Virgo symbol in the sun. That means that we're shifting into a new season. The sun is now in Virgo. And then when we get to the 24th, Uranus is going to be going retrograde in the sign of Taurus. So this is an outer planet. So if you have 18 degrees Taurus anywhere in your chart, you may feel it a bit more, but I don't really, it's not a very big, you know, this happens every year, and it's an outer planet. So it has less of an effect on a personal matter. It's more of a social, collective kind of thing. So Uranus is about progression and shocking things and intellectual stuff. So when it goes retrograde, anytime something goes retrograde, it's an internal thing that will be affecting us. Mercury is in the pre-shadow period. This did happen Saturday or Sunday last week. So the pre-shadow is, it's building up to its actual, you know, time of Mercury retrograde. And the reason why, listen, first of all, I just want to say, if you guys are following anyone or, you know, seeing posts of, oh my god, Mercury retrograde is happening, you know, terrible things will happen now, you probably don't want to listen to that person or these posts because they don't know what they're talking about. Mercury goes into retrograde about 3 to 4 times a year because it moves fast. And the reason why it has a much bigger influence on us than, like, you know, Uranus going retrograde is because it's so much closer. So the energy is much stronger and it's considered a personal planet. And so when Mercury goes retrograde, it rules short traveling. So that's why people, you'll notice like more accidents happen around that time. But that doesn't mean, you know, and because it rules short travel, that's why people always say, like, inspect your cars, get your oil checked, get your tires changed, all of that kind of stuff, and just be more aware of when you're driving. I do want to definitely, like, put out there, really, you do want to pay attention to that, not just because Mercury is in the pre-shadow retrograde, but we're going to be heading into Mars retrograde at the end of October. I did mention that a little bit in my last video, but Mars can be a volatile, violent planet, and when it goes retrograde, it's more internal, and you may see more accidents happening around that time as well. But this isn't to, like, scare you, be like, oh my god. But if you start seeing these kinds of posts or whatever, I don't think you should be following somebody who is trying to put you in this place of fear instead of, you know, giving you actual information. Because again, retrograde is about internal things. What are some lessons that haven't been learned? What do I need to redo, go over, and then when it comes back into moving its normal way out of retrograde, it goes direct, then I can go about being a, you know, better version because I grew during this time, because I was going and digging within. That's what Mercury retrograde is about, and Mars retrograde as well. But these are happening around the same time, so that's why I'm mentioning all of this stuff. We're not in the retrograde yet, but we are in the pre-shadow period of Mercury retrograde, so communications may not be heard like you would like them to. And when we get to the 25th, we have Mercury leaving where it is exalted at and one of its home signs of Virgo and moving into Libra. So this is going to give more of a balance and fairness and diplomatic way of communicating. We could possibly find ourselves being more invested in making other people people feel good about the choices they make, even if we don't really agree with them. We may communicate to make that other person feel better. Libra has that, you know, people will be like, oh, Libra's a people pleaser. I don't really like to say that. I just think that's kind of like a cheap kind of thing to say. Libras aren't people pleasers. They do not like to deal with confrontation, so they'd rather just be like, oh yeah, you know, I'll let you think what you think, but I know whatever it is. So we may find ourselves thinking and speaking in that sort of manner when this happens, but again, we're in that pre-shadow period. So just make sure you double check everything as of now. And, you know, if people start misunderstanding what it is that you are trying to say, or if someone's saying something to you and it's not coming, you know, you're like, whoa, wait, what? Make sure you reiterate, like, what I heard you say was blah, 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 blah. Is that right? And you know what I mean? And just be aware, you know, text messages can get misconstrued big time. So just want to throw that out there. And if you send out an email, you know, stuff might get delayed and all that stuff around this pre-shadow time. So if you notice like your electronics are starting to break down or whatever, it's Mercury retrograde has that type of energy within it. But don't be afraid, because again, this is a time to learn, and with it being in Libra for the time being right now, this can let us kind of backtrack and look at, when I did these certain types of things, did I handle it in the best way possible for everyone to be happy? Did I handle this in the best way possible to make sure things were done correctly and fairly for all parties? And so just keep that in mind. But then when we get to Saturday, the 27th, this is the big day of the week, and this is when we're going to have the new moon in Virgo. So this is when we see the sun and the moon meet up together. And this is happening at 4 degrees. And 4 degrees is a Cancer degree. So it's going to have somewhat of a Cancerian influence at the peak of the new moon. And so as we approach this new moon, though, as the days come to it, this is just before new moon happens, because it'll be the dark of the new moon. As we approach it, days going into, it's not the best time to create and bring in new things. You want to wait the day of the new moon and after it to manifest and start new projects and all of that stuff, because the energy will be more motivating during that time. Because when it's coming to a darkness, it's coming to a close, you can't see anything. So, you know, you want to start a project, people aren't really going to see it. But when you start manifesting it during the new moon, it's the dark of the new moon, and it's time for a new beginning, because then it'll start to open up and shine. So that's why you want to call in prosperous things and all that during a new moon. Not before it, but during it and after. But you'll feel the energy of, just like I always say, with full moons, new moons as well, 3 days before, 3 days after. So the best time to manifest with a new moon is the day of, and 3 days following after that day happens, which this was going to be on the 27th at 4:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there is a lot happening with this new moon, and I think this whole video is pretty much going to be about this new moon in Virgo, because there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of squaring aspects happening. So let's break this down. So the sun and moon will be squaring off with Mars, which is in Gemini, and this is all mutable energy. So this is energy going in every freaking direction, because when you're dealing with mutable signs, mutable energy, it's going here, it's going there, it's going up, it's going down, it's going left, right, diagonal, everywhere. When it's squaring, this is tension, this is challenges, this is conflicts. So while we're getting to this new place, Virgo's low vibration difficulties can be with dealing with perfectionism and not doing something until they know it's perfect, and putting up limitations of, if I can't do this the right way, it's not going to happen. And with the squaring aspect coming in, it's giving us, putting in this tight box, like, you know, it's making you, in a sense, like small, like you cannot break out of this. But when you put something, you know, when you put something in a small area, think about the pressure that builds up until it bursts open. And that's when the expansion happens. That's when, you know, you've broken free, you've grown. So squaring aspects help grow. It's just a matter of how are you going to allow this energy to affect you with the decisions you make with this kind of energy. You know, not everything is rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes it's stress and depressed, whatever. Listen, anyways, so yeah, this is going to be a challenging day. Sun is ego, moon is emotions and subconscious, Mars is action and passion, and these are squaring off with each other, and it's like, what direction do I go in? What am I supposed to do? I'm getting aggravated with this person and this situation and this thing. So that's what this energy can really bring out in people, and it can bring in a lot of, we're also having Venus opposing Saturn. Saturn is restrictions, accountability, discipline, and Venus is money, relationships of all kinds, love. So when these oppose, okay, during this new moon, this can bring in arguments and conflicts with people around you. So somebody, and you remember, Mars is in Gemini. Gemini is the gift of gab. So the way people will start taking action during this conflicting day is going to be, let me hurt you with my words. And with Venus, the relationships opposing Saturn, this is going to be saying stuff that's built up over time that hasn't been spoken on, that's been, you know, let me just push this aside, let me leave this alone. And then this day, people are going to probably be saying some nasty, messed up things and twisting things around and making things more difficult. Or, you know, you could have these discussions leading up to the new moon, so when this does happen, because remember, we have Monday with that really good aspect of Mercury and Pluto. If you want to use this for your advantage of a therapeutic kind of day, a taboo speaking of, like, let's figure these things out, you can take advantage. So when we lead up to this new moon, the discussions and things that do happen will be held in a much better manner, and you can use this as, okay, let's take on this challenging time in this relationship that I have. So we've already had this discussion, and we can take this on together, or myself, whatever the situation is for you, to be able to expand and grow from that. Because remember, Mars gives that drive and motivation. So it's like, all right, let me take this challenge on. And, you know, so we, as well, like, you know, these aspects can be difficult, but again, the energy, you can work with it and not make it work for you. It's all about how you decide to utilize your time and, you know, all of that. But with all that being said, let me know where you guys also have Virgo in your natal chart. For me, it is an empty 5th house. So I'm curious to know where you have Virgo at for you, because that can give an indication of where the energy will be more focused in at. So like, again, like if it's the 5th house, that's your creativity, children, fertile things. So what can come from this? What can I create with this? So if you have a 5th house, you may find communications with people that you work creatively with, or kids, or maybe you're having a difficult time and you want to have a baby, and this is just, you know, you and your partner are bumping heads about, you know, how to decorate the nursery or whatever it is. So those kinds of things can be within the 5th house. Just an example. So now, with that being said, let's get into this tarot reading. So, we're going to see for the week. Take what resonates, leave what does not, and share this with somebody you think needs to know or would be interested in this reading. So for the week coming up, week ahead, I want to know what are some energies or messages we need to know. All right. We got the Fool reversed with the Three of Swords. Fool reversed with the Three of Swords. So, I think this is people having a very difficult time. I think somebody's going to be having a very difficult, challenging time with taking on something that they were very excited about and wanted to, but now something is blocking your way. I'm seeing, what's that thing called when you second guess, like, I'm not good enough? Imposter syndrome. I'm seeing a lot of people this week dealing with imposter syndrome and comparing themselves to other people. And you gotta know, the people who make it are the ones who, like, don't know a freaking thing. And I'm watching what I say so I don't get flagged. So, the people that don't know anything, but they put themselves out there, those are the ones who become successful. Do not compare yourself to anyone else because you're not a copy of anybody except you only, okay? So with this imposter syndrome I'm seeing happen, you know, you got to take that chance on yourself. You have to take that risk. This can also be a breakup happening too. Seeing for some people, I think, remember I said with that squaring thing, words cut deep. And I think some people were thinking, I'm hearing an engagement was supposed to happen, or you thought you were going to get engaged, and it's not happening. You're getting crushed. Something happened. Somebody's finding out some news that is going to really cut them deep. And I think this really has to do with a relationship, but what I'm hearing is things weren't as good as you kept imagining them and wanting them to be. And the reason why it didn't work out was because this person is not for you. They're no good for you. They're trash. You got to kick them to the side. That's what I'm hearing too. And it's like, this is going to be a difficult time for you. But it's going to be a difficult time. I think there's a third party involved. Get the Queen of Cups. This is somebody taking back their power with their emotions. And with this breakup right here, this is you having to turn to a maternal figure. This could be your mother, your grandmother, somebody you really look up to that has that strong, like, feminine energy that you can depend on. They have this strong emotional, like, security. They're going to hold you down emotionally. I'm seeing, because I think that's, some people are going to really need that this week. It's really strong with this, like, nurturing emotionally. Like, I think some people are going to be getting some new plants too. I don't know why I'm getting, like, you're getting new plants, flowers, ferns. We have the Six of Coins reversed, Strength reversed, and the Ace of Wands. So, yeah, this week is going to be very, very difficult. There could be a lack of your finances this week as well. I think some people are really depending on something happening financially, and it's not. Shit. Got the Strength reversed too. It's funny because I think last week we got the Strength upright with this, you know, but I think things this week are different, and I feel like some people are looking back at last week like, damn, why can't I be on that same vibe I was last week to keep going up? But it's like we have to take a step back and look at, you know, we have to weigh out our options. I'm seeing people need to weigh out their options and realize that maybe the step that you were going to take going forward, you're being saved at. It's a good thing you're finding out now that this wasn't actually for you, and it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing, but I feel like you guys are in this new place emotionally, where things aren't affecting you as heavily as they would have in the past, but it's still something that is very disheartening. And I'm hearing the word discernment. You have to trust your discernment and go with what that is. That's why I think that second guessing, that imposter syndrome, it's not just that, but it's also second guessing yourself. Like, you knew what your gut said, you knew that this wasn't right, you knew this wasn't going to work out, you knew that this just was not for you to begin with, this whatever it is, and you didn't listen to your discernment at first, but now you're in it, you're like, damn, I should have known better. I just see somebody being like, damn, like, come on, like, I knew better than this. Why did I, like, what the hell? And it's very heavy in this area. So it's a very difficult, hard, emotional time this week, I'm feeling. I think having some Reiki done and healing within this area will be really good for people this week. If you have rose quartz, working with that and the color green to open up the heart chakra to really connect. But I think grounding is going to be very important too. So red, paying attention to your feet as well, and the information that you're receiving at that time. If something just doesn't feel right to you, don't go with it. If something about keys, I'm hearing something about somebody's keys. I'm not really sure what, but there's something about keys. So pay attention to your keys. Don't really know that. I don't know exactly what they're trying to tell me, but something with keys. I don't know what. Something with keys. I want to see what else is happening for this week. We have the Seven of Cups with the Knight of Wands. Yo, like, you knew better. This person, there's somebody coming in and they are fooling you. They are filling you up with a bunch of bull. They are telling you what you want to hear. Do not trust them. This could be somebody from your past. I feel like for you guys, there's someone from your past popping up for some of you, and this could be somebody new, somebody you networked with, somebody like, you know, like a friend of a friend. No, absolutely not. Do not go through with whatever this is. If this is a relationship, if this is a contract, if this is a new endeavor, do not, like, it's so strong. They're saying do not do it. If this has something to do with keys, like with a new purchase that has to do with a home or a car, it's not going to turn out how they are telling you. It's not going to turn out how they're telling you. They're giving you a bunch of bull. They're putting all these, oh, you know, things are going to be great, and we're going to do this, and this great outcome's going to happen. As fast as they come in, they're going to leave just as quick. They're going to take your money and run. So this could be happening to some of you guys. So, you know, just be, again, with that discernment. Do not, if you have a gut instinct that says, don't do this, don't go to this place, don't buy this thing, don't get in that car, don't get in that Uber, don't do it. And this is like very intensely strong, like, do not do it. I usually don't do readings like this, but this is what's coming through, and it's just really strong. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. We have the World coming out. Why is the World coming out? I hope this is like changing directions with this reading, because I don't usually like to do like intense like fear stuff, and it's funny because I talked about that in the beginning of the video. But you know, I have to tell you guys exactly what's coming through with these readings. Not, like I said, not everything is rainbows and butterflies, but I have to keep it real in these videos. But I don't want to lead you guys through fear. I want you guys to be aware of your surroundings and use your discernment, you know, to make the smartest decision of what to do or what not to do. So I want to put that out there so you guys aren't like, oh my God, don't be afraid. I'm hearing like very strongly, like, do not be afraid. You just need to trust yourself. That's what, and something about twos. All right, so I want to know, why do we have the World card here? What are you trying to tell us? Why is the World card? I don't know, you guys. It's a bunch of pages. It's a bunch of baloney. All right. We have the Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands. I just feel like somebody this week is being taken advantage of. Or you may feel like you've been taken advantage of. If we go back to the beginning of the reading with the Fool card reversed with the Three of Swords, this could even be leading into when you were so open and vulnerable with somebody. Or 3 people that did not perceive you for who you actually are, and they're trying to take advantage of you. Now this is, you know, swords, pentacles, and wands. So this is speaking, this is money, this is action. So this could be, you know, a group of people who exude air or earth or fire placements that you're surrounded by, and maybe these 3 people I don't know, it's with these 3s. I just keep hearing, don't second guess yourself. If you were open about something, about closing out a chapter and ready to take on a new adventure, and you're really excited about it, and you're going to be doing it with like a group of people, this could be the week where you get let down from the other people that were supposed to help you. But there's something with that. But on the flip side too, this could also be something that you're finally in the beginning stages of doing, that you're very excited about, okay? This could be something that you've been very passionate about and has been in the works for a long time coming, and you're finally in the beginning stages of taking action on this new thing. And maybe you're brushing up on your studies because you don't have all the information of whatever this is, but this has been something you've been working on, and you're finally putting the action into this project or into this thing. And you have to be very careful and meticulous about how you plan it out, because this is something you eventually do want to have money come from. You know, you want to make this something you can bring of value to yourself. And, you know, you just have to really like put in that work and come up with an actual scheduled plan to where you can take action, you know, whatever on Monday, this on Tuesday. So that is another story that's coming into also. So it's not all of that stuff. I'm going to pull a couple more cards to see. I'm curious to see if there's anything else for this week that, you know. Okay. There's a lot happening this week, you guys. We have the Queen of Swords coming out after all this. So this is, again, you know, I think this is a very transformative week. I think this is a time where we're going to be really speaking up and saying things that we have no regrets about. I hear that very loud and clear. We're speaking up and we have no regrets about what we're saying. This is being in charge of yourself and taking accountability for you and your wants, your needs. This is also, I'm seeing people being very, like processing lots of information all at once. Oh, yeah, okay. A lot of information coming in. And wanting to do so many things. Wanting to do so many things and meeting up with a lot of people and a lot of information coming from this person, and, you know, being like, this is what I want to do. And people saying like, okay, let's do this. This is a lot of different multitasking, a lot of information. Is like a lot, okay? This is a lot of personalities we're dealing with this week. This is a lot of people, you know, there's a lot more communication happening this week. There's a lot more video calls, Zooms, emails, text messages, people popping up that you don't want to talk to, but you need to clear the air with whatever it is. This is, you need to clear the air. You need to speak on whatever it is that you've been holding on to or holding back on. You need to speak on it and have no regrets on how they perceive what you have to say, because you need to speak your truth with whatever situation this is. Also, there's a lot of, well, there's like, whoo, my brain's going like 100 miles an hour right now. I'm trying to get out everything that I'm hearing. I want to, what else is happening for this week? The Magician and the Hermit. So the Magician and the Hermit, major changes happening. And it's funny because this is that new moon in Virgo. So this is going to be the time to really manifest and call in. But doing the internal work, I think people are going to really be... Molly's here. I think people are going to be focused more on their health and wanting to get into like a better day-to-day routine. I'm seeing more of this want and need for inner peace, and I don't know how to describe this, but the feeling I'm getting is like a lot of doing stuff within and realizing your own internal power that you hold yourself, and using that as a, like, to move throughout this week, finding your own internal power. And I see like somewhat of like a, I want to say kind of like an epiphany kind of thing happening, where it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like this, now I see the light kind of feeling. And it's like it's like when you overcome something so challenging and you finally find the stillness and the serenity within that. So I'm going to pull a couple oracle cards and then we're going to wrap this video up, because I know there's a lot of stuff coming out, but you can say, you know, that's that Gemini Mars energy that we are under now. So let me get some oracle cards. As always, we're going to do some moonology cards. So with this new moon in Virgo, what is a message we can know during the new moon in Virgo time? Confidence is your key to success. Embracing that new moon in Leo. So holding on to that confidence. So again, when I was talking about the beginning of the video with don't second guess yourself. Don't allow that imposter syndrome to take over you. You have to lead with that inner confidence. And this goes back to this hermit right here. It's like you have all the tools and the magic, and you're finally seeing that within you. And it's like, if you can just let that shine outwardly and speak on that to people, like, this is who I am, and this is how I shine and how I show up in the world, and do the damn thing. Don't second guess yourself, because you got this, you know? And we live and learn from our own mistakes. Nobody's friggin' perfect. Are you kidding me? Just don't worry about that. Or at least if you worry about it, don't let it control you. Don't let it control you. Then we're going to pull some self-care cards, and then we will wrap this reading up. So, what is some self-care that we need to know right now for this week? Some self-care that we can do during this new moon. Soak in a bath. Soak in a bath. So use your favorite, you know, soaps, body scrubs. I see people going to like the store and getting their favorite like beauty products to like bathe in, like spa stuff, giving yourself a spa day. It's gonna be really good because there's like a lot of tension and stuff happening, and Virgo wants to take care of itself and healthy. So maybe you want to switch up the products, like get stuff without parabens and stuff like that. I think this is where people are going to be really focused at this week. You know, burning. I see people really smudging a lot this week too. And then we also spend time with animals and music. So spending time, spend time with your cat or your dog and just listen, like vibe out in your room or in your living room to your favorite music, and just even go outside and, you know, admire the animals that are like in your area, in their natural habitat and stuff like that. Music is such a therapeutic thing to use, and, you know, there's just like a lot of energy happening this week. It's like a very transformative time this week. Something is like building up, and finally, like, it's some time for something new. So while we get through this week and all of this, don't ignore what's happening, but to get through all of the, you know, working through the motions, music can really help, and just connecting with animals too, because they live so simply and they know what they're doing, and they're very aware of their surroundings. So maybe embodying, you know, pay attention to the animals that you see. So there's going to be messages coming in from animals this week. So if you see like an owl, you know, pay attention to what were you thinking about, what were you feeling, what message does that give you intuitively. You can look it up too, but I always say the best way to get the messages is if you just do it intuitively. And to do that, what were you thinking about, what were you feeling, what happened in that moment, and go with that. And if you don't really know, you know, I just don't really think I'm that, you know, intuitive. You just have to practice things like that to really build it up. So with that being said, this is the end of the video. I think this was a long one, but there's a lot of information in it. So I will see you guys next week. Have a happy new moon in Virgo, and see you guys later.